my cherished ducklings. Welcome to Peri Lyons, New York City's celebrity psychic. That's me. I mean, it could also be you since we're all one, but in this case, it happens to be me. And I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad I'm anywhere. So it's all good. We're experiencing a solar eclipse. I mean, it's night where I am, but we're still experiencing a solar eclipse in Aries, which is, if you want to look at your chart, any part of it that has Aries lit up is going to be really woo-woo. And this gives us, my friend Elizabeth Grace, the genius astrologer, likens any kind of eclipse to, do you remember the children's book, Make Way for Ducklings? By the way, I got my nails done for you guys. How cool is this? Oh, and I also got myself an engagement ring for me. I'm marrying me because I like me. I've known me a long time, and I have a lot in common. Anyway, dumb joke. So my friend Elizabeth Grace talks about solar eclipses or eclipses at all like this. She says it's like the cop in the Make Way for Ducklings book, which is a true story. A traffic cop in Boston stopped traffic. Stop in the name of love. Stop traffic, the busiest street in Boston, to let a mama duck and her 9 little ducklings cross the street slowly. And because he was so great and it was such a lovely thing to do, there's a statue of him and the ducklings in a park I completely forget the name of now in Boston. So just stop anybody in Boston and say, where's the park I completely forget the name of? And they'll probably just laugh. But where was I? Oh, so an eclipse is a little like that. It's, I mean, like a cop and ducklings. In this way, I will explain. You will enjoy it. It's a way of sort of holding everything up so you can kind of take a deep breath, kind of get yourself in order, get centered. And it's a time when you're a little out of the flow of everyday whoomp, 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 whoomp. Oh, you know what I mean by that. And you can just stop and take a deep breath and get ready for all the gifts that the eclipse is going to give you. Isn't that nice? I think it's nice. I love Elizabeth Grace. She's awesome. Okay, so one of my friends who watches, you're all my friends. So a friend I haven't met yet who watches the show wrote in and said, why don't you ever talk about yourself? I'm like, are you kidding? That's all I do. But apparently, no, I don't. So she said she wanted to know a little about my background and why my dress is falling off. Okay, shouldn't say that, but sadly, not as many people as they used to want to know why my dress is falling off, or ask it to fall off, but that's a different story. Oh, by the way, I'm not wearing a lick of makeup today because I had an allergic reaction to something and had to rub my entire face with baby oil. So what you see is what you get. I also gained 30 pounds over the last 4 months, which I had such a good time doing. And now I appeal to all different cultures. So whenever somebody says like, oh, gaining weight is bad, tell them to put a sock in it. I had such a good time gaining weight. Anyway, I grew up in a theater and acting family. My grandfather was a Broadway playwright and wrote the movie in which Jimmy Cagney, if you're old enough to know who Jimmy Cagney was, said the famous line, "You dirty rat." And my aunt and uncle and mom were all child actors and actors on Broadway. I grew up acting and singing. I mean, not all the time. That would be kind of tiresome. I was a professional singer for 20 years. I was a model in my teens and 20s. Ready? See? Very convincing. But I was with a very good agency. What else can I tell you? My dad was Jewish and my mom was from a very old American family. Very, like, I'm not kidding, 24 ancestors on the Mayflower, which means either that I'm very well bred or very inbred. Take your pick. I have 2 parakeets who I love. I have been married. I was married a long time. I have been engaged a bunch. I'm currently single because I'm dating me, see ring. But, you know, I'm open to suggestion. If you want to fix me up with somebody incredibly attractive and kind and generous, feel free. I didn't. Oh, wait, this is my Tinder profile? Hold on. And I live in Brooklyn and in Annapolis, Maryland, because I'm fixing up my late mom's house. But I'm a Brooklyn girl, and I'm a 10th generation New Yorker. which my family got here in 1832, and we stuck around because not doing anything interesting, just too lazy to leave, honestly. Oh, you want to go to New Jersey? Nah. And I don't know, that's it. I love singing. I write songs. I've sung duets with Moby on the Songs for Tibet 2 album. I've sung with Courtney Love. I've written songs with lots of cool people. And I'm friends with a lot of celebrities, but I can't tell you who, because that's how you keep celebrity friends, is you don't talk about them or ask them for money or ask them for favors or pretty much do anything except, I don't know. And that's it. Oh, and a lot of people ask how I first found out I was psychic. My mom was psychic. In fact, her great-great-grandfather, great-great-great-great, nobody's that great, was a judge at the Salem witch trials in Salem, Massachusetts. His name was Cotton Mather, and I think he was bitter because, honestly, who wants their first name to be Cotton? Like in his brothers, Polyester and Wool Blend. That's a joke, but his name was Cotton. So that doesn't make sense that, like, having a judge at the Salem witch trials would mean I'm psychic, but I think he was pretty psychic because he wrote a book called Wonders of the Invisible World, in which he talks about how all psychics are bad and witches need to be hung. And I think he was a self-hating psychic. My mother was very psychic, so I grew up thinking that everybody could see stuff that other people couldn't. I mean, you know what I'm saying. And the one thing, can I just tell you, as a teenager, you do not want a psychic mother. No, 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 no. But I had one. Mom and I used to see the same ghosts in the house. But the first time I really knew that I had something other people didn't was probably when I was a very young bartender in New York City. And, well, this was not a psychic thing per se, but I went downstairs to get something, and I came back up, and all the chairs that had been like in front of the stage, it was a nightclub with a stage, were all piled on the stage in a pyramid. I'd only been gone for 30 seconds. And that's when I thought, strange things do tend to happen about me, around me, to me, with me. Also, I kept getting fired from jobs because I would say things like, oh, welcome to the store. This would look great on you. It must be really interesting in New York now that you moved from Cambridge, Massachusetts 3 months ago. And how was your vacation in Costa Rica? And they'd be like, how did you know I was from Cambridge? How did you know I just got back from Costa Rica? This one woman who I said this to got really mad. I tried to distract it. She was carrying a little chihuahua. This is back when everybody was carrying small dogs like they were like purses or hand grenades. And I said, that's a great dog, trying to distract her because she was getting mad. I said, he looks like a Gemini. Is he a Gemini? And she said, his name is Gemini, and I'm getting you fired. Anyway, so it's been a mixed blessing. You especially don't want to be psychic when you're in relationships, at least with men who have a tendency to look around at other people sometimes, and they don't want to know that you know that. That might have just been inadvertently more than I meant to say. Okay, now I'm taking callers. We're not doing the tarot weather this week because I am at a friend's house unexpectedly in New York City, and I don't have my tarot cards. I apologize. If you want to tune in next week, I will do an extra special tarot reading for the week. Forgive me. And now I'm going to take my first caller. Who is it, Mr. Producer? Oh, what a great name, Regan. Regan is the name of the girl in The Exorcist. How are you? Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good, thank you.
Do you get a lot of Exorcist jokes?
No, I didn't even know that.
Oh, Regan was the name of the girl in The Exorcist. Are you sorry? I should have told you that. But yeah.
I haven't actually seen the movie. I'm not a big horror fan, but I've seen my whole life Ronald Reagan. That's what I always got called.
My grandfather wrote a movie of Ronald. He wrote his first movie. I asked him once about Ronald Reagan. He said, honey, he was the dumbest man I have ever met. Anyway.
That'd be like me.
No, you're smart. I can tell because you live in Australia, and I love Australia. I'm going to ask you your birthday, but first I'm going to ask, where in the Gold Coast do you live?
So I'm in Carrara in the Gold Coast.
Oh, that's nice. I lived in Sydney for a while. It was great. And
yeah,
darling, it hurts to see you, darling. Australians are awesome. And everything in Australia is 13% bigger more colorful and weirder than it is in the States. I want to move back. Anyway, so my darling, and I don't mean you. That sounded wrong.
No,
you're 13% bigger, more weirder, and colorful than. Okay, so my darling.
Oh, we are very eccentric. We're eccentric.
Oh, it's so great. It is so great. Can I just tell you? Okay, so what was I going to say? Oh, yes, I like to connect people through their birthdays. So tell me when your birthday is. You have my full attention. And
so my birthday?
Yeah.
Sorry, Dawn. My birthday is the 29th of January.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow. That's a very unusual birthday. I don't think I've ever met anybody with that birthday. Yeah, I think the actress Heather Graham has that birthday. And maybe the writer Norman
Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres are both those birthdays as well. And I think Michael Jackson wasn't, was he?
I don't know. No. Michael Jackson's a Virgo. But I know I'm not supposed to love him, but I do. I recently got the entire staff of the Brooklyn Department of Motor Vehicles dancing with me to Billie Jean. It might be my proudest achievement. Okay, January 29th, I love Aquariuses. Seriously. Okay, how can I help you, my angel? What's on your mind?
I just like it. Either a general reading or a medium reading today. Just what's ahead, basically, for us.
It feels like, well, here's the problem with you is you can do anything. Anything you decide you want to do, when you do it, you're really effing good at it. And I'm not saying that to be nice. It's true though, right? It's a little annoying, frankly.
Yeah. I'm very self-taught. Yeah. I self-taught. I can't be taught anything. I'm very pig-headed and do it myself.
Oh my! So I'm the same way. I'm so happy to hear you say that because I really like you, and I thought that was like a bad thing about me. But now that I know you do it too, I'm all happy.
I can't be a teacher because no one knows how I can't teach people how I learn things.
Well, you're an Aquarius. You guys aren't from this planet. Repeat after me. I am not from this planet. The standards here do not apply to me. I am a genius. Don't ask questions. Just give me food and money. Okay. It's true, though. That's Aquariuses. You guys are my favorite kind of crazy. And you're very idealistic.
Oh, that's funny because my brother and sister are the same. We're all Aquariuses, all in the same week.
Your parents have 3 Aquarius children?
Yep, all in the same week. One's Australia Day and one's the 22nd. So we're all in the same week, 22, 26 and 29.
Oh, my God. There has to be a special Hallmark sympathy card I can send to your parents. In deepest sympathy. What were you thinking? Don't have 3 Aquarius children. It makes herding cats sing E. Wow. Well, I'm very, very impressed with you.
The Easter Bunny got very bunny-like during that time. Easter.
I love that you're saying that in the year of the rabbit too. Awesome.
Yeah.
People ask me like, what are people born in the year of the rabbit like? I'm like, well, what do they like? Well, I can tell you a thing they like. What are rabbits famous for? And they're like, eating carrots? I'm like, no. Anyway.
Rudy. No, I'm the rooster. I'm the cock. I'm the year of the cock.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Roosters, I'm a tiger. Roosters and tigers get along great. And an Aquarius cock. Okay, well, you've never thought a thought that you didn't say out loud. You not only have no filter, you actively disable other people's filters. I don't think people can fit. It's true though, right?
Yes, 100%. Yep. Strangers end up spending an hour and a half with me talking, and they're talking stuff they'd never talked before.
Yes. So you would make a really good therapist if you want to dream big.
That's what everyone tells me.
Yeah. That's because I think that the reason you don't want to be a therapist is because there's a lot of rules, and you're actually better at it just doing what you do and being who you are. So just do it for fun because you're going to anyway. You're really creative right now. Did you just start like churning out paintings or songs or something? Because there's a really creative vibe. And you're really good with people. What?
I just talk a lot.
You talk a lot?
I'm good with words. I'm good with my words, people say, when I'm counselling people or giving them advice. I'm very good with my words.
Yeah. Well, you have a real, you know what you'd be really good at? You have this is what I was getting. It's not making things. You have a performing thing. You've got like a one-woman show or stand-up or something in you that you have not really
Embrace?
explored. Huh?
Yeah, I haven't embraced or anything. I'm very
You haven't
much.
embraced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm funny.
Oh, you're very funny. You're very funny. And the thing is, here's the thing. You're funny even when you don't know you're funny because you tell the truth all the time. As Mark Twain said, if you want to be lonely, tell the truth. But you're not lonely. You have 1 million friends. And they sort of feel like acquaintances to you, but each of your friends think they're your best friend in the entire world. Don't tell them, is my advice.
I feel the other way. I feel the other way at times.
Yeah.
Like
you're weird.
I have strangers that I meet that I'll take anyone on as they're like my best friend. I'll treat everyone as my best friend would be treated.
Yeah. I think they're two sides of the same coin. It's interesting because you're extremely personal and impersonal at the same time. And you don't have any class consciousness in you. You will befriend the janitor and the queen on exactly the same level. I might be a little late to befriend the queen, but you know what I mean. God bless her.
Yep.
But you don't have a shred of snobbery. The other thing I see you being very good at, and this is coming from one of my guides who, honestly, I don't usually listen to because we used to date before he died, and he can be a little annoying, especially when there's a pretty girl involved like you. But Robin, I'm listening to you. Robin says you'd be a very, very good, like not a nightclub promoter because that's kind of sleazy, but you're very good. Be very good at like booking events. It's not exactly that. Something to do with managing a lot of people in a kind of cultural or music or creative context. Because people will just do what you say. I'll do what you say. I'm coming to Australia. But you have some of the talents you have, you're so used to that you don't recognize them. So I'm going to give you an assignment. Take all of the things that you're good at, distance yourself a little because you're good at being objective. Take like, oh, I'm being conceited out of it because that's just BS. Not on your part, just on the world's part about women. We're taught to doubt ourselves and think anytime we brag about ourselves, we're being conceited. So F that.
Yes.
But you have a lot of power and I think you're starting to wake up to a kind of ambition that you didn't know you had. And I think you're a little embarrassed about it. Don't be. We need you. We need you. So here's what I'd say. And I don't know what gender you go after, but you have a couple of people on, what's that?
Female.
Cool. You have a couple of relationships on the back burner. There's somebody coming into your life in May who's like, hello, nurse. So I wouldn't make any huge commitments between now and then. If you're already in a committed relationship, still keep your options open. Yeah, I get that. That's what I just got. But I think somebody might come in late May, like around the 25th, who's going to knock you off your pins. So just don't say I didn't warn you. And this was a little scattershot because I wandered all around Brooklyn today and had glasses of wine all over the place. So, did I say that outside of my head? I did, didn't I? Damn it. So here's what I'm getting. You'd be very good, like either managing a theatrical venue or some sort of club venue, either getting people in or booking. Oh, I've got Ileana in Connecticut holding, so I'm going to wrap this up fast. Hi, Ileana. I have a goddaughter named Ileana. It's a great name. Hold on 1 minute, Ileana, because I absolutely love the person I'm talking to, too. So I would do a couple of open mics and do some stand-up, but don't try to do stand-up the way other people do stand-up. Do stand-up completely as yourself. Completely. Just get up there and tell the truth. People will fall over. Just tell the truth. You're incredibly funny and people really like you. So that would be my first thing. Just do an open mic or two, or duct tape your friends to chairs and make them listen. Not that I do that, but it works. Somebody's going to come along in May who is going to knock your socks off. You don't have to act on it, but I'm just warning you. Look at the area in your chart where Aries is and get ready for a big bump in that area. Bump! And I don't know, you got a lot of really good changes coming up. I'm sorry I'm not more specific today, but I guess that's pretty specific. And I told you about yourself pretty accurately. So I feel good about this. And I really like you.
No,
so
great.
Okay, call back sometime.
I like
My
you
pleasure.
Too.
All right, save me a seat. I'm coming to visit.
Sometime.
All right, thank you, love.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Hey, Ileana, thank you for being so patient. You're an angel. What's your birthday?
My birthday?
Yeah, I like to connect to people through their birthdays. You don't have to tell me the year. Don't ask, don't tell.
May 16th.
Oh, that's my mom's birthday. Oh, I already adore you. Okay, and how can I help you, my angel? It's a great day. That's so funny because I was talking to, I went to Trader Joe's today and I was talking to the nice guy behind the cash, checking me out, and he was talking about gardening, and I was like, is your birthday May 16th? Because my mother was a gardener. And he was like, yeah, so you're my second May 16th today. That's wonderful. It's a very good omen. You're in for a lucky year. So how can I help?
Well,
you have a relationship question.
Yes.
I can feel that little relationship question bubbling around in your cranium. Bubble, 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 bubble. But help me out here. How can I help you? Shall I just jump in and tell you what you need to know?
Sure.
Okay.
That sounds better.
What's that?
I said, that sounds a lot better.
No problem. I know it's hard to be put on the spot. It's like when somebody asks you, what's your favorite movie? And you suddenly can't remember any movie you've ever seen in your entire life ever. Okay. You have a lot of very good friendships. You're very good at friendship. It feels, I was going to jump into relationships, but the first thing that's coming up is it feels like you're having a falling out or a difficult time with a very close friend right now. Is that true? I'll give you $10 if you say it is. Okay. I'm just kidding. That's hard. You're going to have to, I know that you get tired of always being the bigger person, like always like rising above and being kinder than you need to be. But on the other hand, nobody ever regretted being kinder than they needed to be. And this person is jealous of you. And I think A, you're quite attractive, and B, they come from a place of scarcity, right? They don't think there's enough love or enough talent or enough beauty to go around. When of course everything is ours in huge abundance, so scarcity is just ridiculous. But this person, they're being difficult, and you might have to be the first person to reach out. You're not going to have to do this for the rest of your life, and I know it kind of sucks that I'm saying this, but I think the friendship's worth keeping. Unless this person has been a real witch with a B, in which case, forget everything I just said. But I think she's coming from a place, or he is, or they, or llamas. But enough about my personal life. I think they're coming from a place of pain. And I think that they think in some ways you're better than they are. You'd be amazed how much people can project onto you without you knowing. So does that answer that? Because we're going to move on. I'm going to answer something else. Okay,
that
good.
does answer that.
Your relationship stuff. You're either in a relationship. I was going to say you're either in a relationship or you're not. How psychic of me. Sorry. You're either tall or short. Have I got that right? Sorry. Maybe that second glass of wine was a mistake. What I meant was that your relationship energy is very even. You don't have that like kind of energy that people have when they're either in love with somebody and that they're not sure how the other person feels about them, or they're in love with somebody and the other person doesn't give a flying fig. So either you're very confident and secure, which you could be because you've got a great birthday, or you're currently in a solid relationship? Which is it?
Probably both.
Oh, awesome. So you're in a relationship. That's what I got. All right. This one seems like it's lasting to me. And I love that you said both. I love it when women own their power. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For all us women who are listening today, instead of complaining about stuff this week, I want you to brag. So, because we're used to bonding with each other, like complaining, like we'll commiserate over our shared miseries. I don't want any of us to do that this week. I want us to brag. So I brag that I get the best people on my show. So, yeah, your relationship is good. If you're not married, you're going to get married. What did I say? Are you there? What?
Yes, I'm married.
Oh, well, you know what? Sometimes the psychic stuff works and sometimes it doesn't. You're in the right relation. What I'm trying to say here at great lengths is you're in the right relationship. It's going to last a really long time. And you have your occasional bumps, but it feels really nice and smooth to me. Okay, work. Let's talk about your work.
Okay.
Honestly, work is kind of fine too. The only thing that's really coming up for me is that friendship thing. And that's a bump because you take your friendships very seriously. And I love you for that. Work is fine. You're going to get like a 20% raise in bum. I think you just got bumped up in March a bit. So I think you're going to stay at the place. Yeah, so I think you're going to stay at the place you're working, but since you're doing the work of 3 people and only getting paid for 1, and I know that's true. I think October is when you're going to get kicked upstairs. You're going to get both. You're not going to get promoted so much that it's like, oh, I have to do this, but you're going to get promoted enough that you have a nicer title and probably 20% raise would be my guess. People really like you at work and you're doing a great job. I'm sorry. You're a Taurus. You guys are like really stable and kind. I'm sorry. That's the end of our show, but I'm really glad you called. And we've 30 seconds. Anything you want to ask really quickly? Up. I'll just tell you. You have 2 kids? Well, I'm just going to say you do because our show's coming to an end. But I like both of your kids. There's a chance that there's a 3rd one coming next year. So let me know if that happens because I think that's that. All right. I'm Peri Lyons, New York City Celebrity Psychic. Come back next Wednesday, 9 p.m. EST. I love you. Mwah. That color looks great on you. Bye.